We've got to make sure that we've got adequate, police presence in our community. That's what people are hearing also. They want criminal investigators. They want 911 people to respond to them when they call. Like, we've got to shore up the entire system.
I want proper social safety net so people don't resort to such things. Because what good are the cops going to do you? What good are the cops going to do you, ma'am? What good is this cop specifically going to do for you? Sheriff threatened to fire all of his black officers in a racist tirade that was caught on tape. I'm not saying that. I think we have the audio. We'll listen to local news hit here.
Every black that I know, you need to fire him to start with. He's a snake.
Of Columbus County.
That's the voice of Columbus County Sheriff Jody Greene. An incredible phone call caught on tape talking about his African-American employees.
WECT just obtained a copy of that call, and we have now learned the FBI has opened an investigation into allegations of obstruction of justice at the Columbus County Sheriff's Office. Investigative reporter Ann McAdams has this exclusive story and joins us now with that recording. Ann?
Fran, on one
I made the statement that I would abolish the FBI, and I've been for abolishing the FBI. However, if we just wanted to parse it down to where all the FBI does is investigate civil rights abuses in police forces, that would be cool. That's one of the things the FBI does is investigate cops, and I really like that. I really like that about the FBI. I do like that part about it.
one end of the phone is current Columbus County Sheriff Jody Greene. On the other end is Jason Souls, the man who previously served as interim sheriff while officials settled a dispute over the 2018 election. We should warn you, there is some graphic language in this call. Sheriff Greene says, quote, he is sick of these black bastards and that every black he knows needs to be fired.
If I had to fire every motherfucker out there, guess what? I'm tired of this. They ain't happening no more. No God more.
That's the voice of Columbus County Sheriff Jody Greene. He won his seat by 34 votes.
Yeah, they do trafficking and kidnapping too, Ida. You're right.
He'd been temporarily removed from office while officials settled the election disputes. That was the setting the night Greene called acting Sheriff Jason Souls, saying their office had a snitch.
Immediately after being appointed to the interim sheriff, started to get a lot of phone calls from Jody late at night. And this one particular phone call that we received, he made the comment that he hated Democrats. And then he said, I take that back, I hate a black Democrat. And
of course,
right at the end, I was like, wow, this is coming from the sheriff. And I had to start recording those conversations.
Former Sheriff Lewis Hatcher was the first African-American ever to serve as sheriff in Columbus County. Greene says on the call he's specifically concerned that people in his office are leaking information to Hatcher and Melvin Campbell, another African-American officer Greene fired shortly after taking office.
It's stopping. Tomorrow's gonna be a new day. I'm still the mother sheriff, and when I'll go up there and fire my goddamn.
Sir, I don't think you're going to be sheriff much longer. I got a little song for this. You about to lose your job. You about to lose your job.
Black bastards. They think I'm scared. That's stupid.
It gets worse. After the sheriff explains that he's getting phone records from Verizon to trace anyone in his office who's called Campbell or Hatcher, he lets Souls know the plan.
We're going to snake head off. Period. And Melvin Campbell's the biggest snake as Lewis Hatcher ever dared to be. Every black that I know, you need to fire him to start with. He's a snake.
Former Sergeant Melvin Campbell said he was so surprised when he heard this recording of the sheriff talking like this about him, he had to listen to it twice. Before taking the job at the sheriff's office, Campbell, who received the Order of the Longleaf Pine from the governor, spent 30 years as a highway patrol officer, under Jody Greene's supervision.
And I worked with him, and it kind of shocked me. You know what I mean? That came out his mouth. I thought we was friends, but with friends like.
Did it shock you, really? Because it didn't shock me, and I didn't know the motherfucker. I just took one look at him and knew that's exactly his thoughts.
Like that. Who needs enemies?
Oh, and the badge was a giveaway too.
Members of Sheriff Greene's command staff were demoted or fired. Soules says ever since making that recording, he's been working to bring it to the attention of county commissioners, court officials, the Attorney General, and the SBI over concerns that the county's most powerful law enforcement leader had a bias against black people.
And I was told to just keep documenting everything that happens so that we would have a paper trail of it, and we did.
But Soules said no matter who he and his supporters turned to, nothing happened. Soules is now running against Greene for sheriff and doesn't want people to think his actions are politically motivated. But he says people need to know the real Jody Greene.
And I didn't want to do this to begin with. You know, I wanted help. I wanted to do it the right way. And I have reached out to everyone that I know to reach out to. I've even tried to get to the governor. You know, I started at the bottom with the commissioners.
Yeah, you should go to the officials first, but if that doesn't work, go to the media. Hey, you can't tell me that WECT here wouldn't have played that fucking video. Come the fuck on. Worked in media for well over 20 years. You couldn't go to anybody. What? Go to your local newspaper, dude.
And worked all the way to the top, to the AG's office and the governor's office. But I just can't seem to get any help.
We spoke to Sheriff Greene about the recording on Monday. At the time, he said he had no recollection of that conversation, so we provided him with a copy of the recording. Late this afternoon, he posted a statement.
Oh my God, is he going to say he was on Ambien? Are we getting ready to hear that? He was on Ambien? Because remember, these calls took place late at night. Is that going to be the excuse?
On Facebook, saying his office serves citizens of all races, and although he admits to using offensive language, he denies saying anything with racial or malintent. Greene said he would cooperate fully with the SBI investigation.
Well,
if you would like to hear the entire recording, we
didn't pull a Roseanne at least.
Inside this story on WECT.com. Ann McAdams.
Do I want to play the whole thing? That's a lot. 6.5 minutes. Is this it? Yep.
I told you about that.
Yeah.
The first place I see, I've got the office numbers too. I'm getting the first extension is Melvin Campbell.
Oh, it's gonna be incredibly hard to deal with because it's not good quality. We've heard the relevant portions. When she said it gets worse, I'm like, how can it possibly get worse?